Hey, what's up, people? So, I'm Tattooed Freak. I'm the creator of the Apex Sim Racing team. In this video here, I'm going to try and explain what I do when I'm making a livery for my team or members of my team. So, with this, we're going to create a design. We're going to open a design. Actually, you know what? Let's just create one from scratch. As you can see here, we're using the 2016 Mercedes AMG GT3 car. Uh, love this car, great car. I'm never a fan of running. I paid money for this game, so I'm never a fan of running these sponsorships, um, especially since nobody's paying me to race with them. I run these stock liveries. They look nice, they look great, they're authentic to the car. But on the other hand, you know, I'm not being paid by any of these sponsors to run their logos, so I make my own. And being the leader and creator of the Apex Sim Racing team, I generally run strictly Apex cars. So, with that being said, I'm going to get started here. And I didn't put, there we go. I like the gold wheels. Some people don't like them. Some people think they're old school. I personally, I like them. I think they go well with my color scheme. But to each their own. So let's get started with some decals here. Actually, let's go in here. We're going to change the paint color. And lately, I've been using this gray. I like this primer gray, this matte color. We're going to change the rear wing, keep that black. And we're going to do the side mirrors. We'll do those in white. So generally the way I start out is I kind of look at the car and I find the shape. We're going to start with this logo here on the side. I turn the angle limit and the depth limit all the way up. That way, if you look, that decal is now projected through the car onto the other side. Just saves time with having to duplicate decals and try and get each side symmetrical. Plus, then when you turn the angle limit up and the depth limit, you can wrap one decal around the entire car. If you wanted to, you could technically wrap the entire car in this decal with this one decal. Now, obviously, the hood is a completely different animal, so let's bring this back down so we get our stripe. And we're going to work mostly off that top body line. Try and keep it in tow with that. And then this livery here, what we're going to do is we're going to make a team livery that's free use, open use team livery, so that any of my drivers or any of the team drivers can grab it and use it. That way it's not dedicated to one specific person. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to duplicate this. If you saw, I duplicated the lower layer, changed the color, and now we got two red stripes bordering the white stripe. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to duplicate this layer, but I'm actually going to replace the decal. And I'm going to go into my collection where I have some pre-made decals that I've already found in the game that I think are pretty dope. I've been using it now for a while. We're going to shorten it up. We don't need to cover all the way around the back side of the car because if you guys know, we're going to put that famous apex skull on there, which is going to cover the rear quarter of the car. But we're going to put this one kind of in this area here. Make sure it's hopefully centered top and bottom. And we're going to leave a little white stripe on the top and the bottom as well. But you see, it's on both sides of the vehicle because I previously, with the decal that I duplicated, I previously had it set to project through the vehicle. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grab another decal. I'm going to do some shading here. And again, we're going to turn the depth limit up, and we're going to turn the angle limit all the way up as well. And then we're just going to shrink this down so it rotates. I know it's kind of an easy way to do it, but now I want to spread it open here as wide as I can. So I want this to be the shading on the top of the decal. So I want it to run pretty parallel. And I just noticed that this one doesn't go all the way around, so we'll just stretch it. Oh yeah, we got commercials. And there we go with that one. So now I'm going to duplicate that one. I'm going to flip it vertically, change it to red, and I'll move it up to where it belongs. Now I'm taking this decal and I'm going to move it now because I want it below there. And that's how we get that effect. Now, of course, we're going for the most widely known part of this livery here. We'll go to my items. Again, we're going to jack this up. And we'll just put it right there. But if you notice, like again, it goes all the way around. So now here's another little thing I do. I duplicate that layer, go to the bottom one, change the color, and give it a couple of nudges forward. And now we got a red outline around the whole front of the skull. Now we're going to add more layers again. This time we're going to do the fade from black into the skull on the back of the car. Grab that decal, flip it horizontally, turn it black, and then we're going to, again, jack the limits up. And we're going to get that put on the back of the car. Now I'm going to take this one here and I'm going to duplicate it. Then I'm going to grab the bottom one, and it doesn't matter which one you grab, and I'm going to drop that down. And then I'm going to slide it forward. Now if you look, it's starting to give a gray shadow underneath the skull lines and a black shadow underneath. But I'm going to shrink this down because we don't want that much of the car black. So we'll shrink it down and stick it kind of like right in that area. And it gives just a slight little shadow underneath the skull. Kind of makes the skull stand out a little bit. So let's go here. We're going to add a layer onto, now this is the other stuff. So it's usually all the little odds and ends, but we're going to go on the left, pick a shape, jack the layers up, and we're just going to expand it, see what it all covers here. Front splitters, spoiler, rear windows. All right. So we got a little bit of the livery done here. Now, lately, I've been doing, let's take care of the hood first before I get into that. I don't know if I like that. I might just keep it like that. I don't really think it's going to matter. So we're going to turn this one red. Duplicate it. Next one goes white. And because this one's on top, we'll shrink this down. And now we got our red stripe and hood. And now we'll just do some shading again. All right, with that being said, normally if I was just going to leave this with these stripes, I'd figure out a way to get rid of that little area right there so that everything blends seamlessly and flows together. But with the new style that I've been doing lately, I'm not worried about that, and you'll see why in a little bit here. Now we're going to add the stripes and stuff on the hood. And again, that's just a couple little basic triangles here. I usually try and get them so that it looks like they kind of flow together off the hood onto the roof. We'll turn that one red, and before we do anything else, we're gonna move this one down. We're gonna move it below the shading so it kind of, there we go, disappears. Now we're gonna duplicate this one. The top one we're gonna go back and again make it white and just shrink it down a little bit until they match somewhat. And then I'll add my shading again. And we'll duplicate it symmetrically, and now we got it on that side too. One thing I forgot to do was we are going to take this one and duplicate it. We'll turn it black, and we'll move it up. So we got it right about there. Just adds a little bit more, I think, in my opinion. So with the new style, we're gonna get a little crazy or a little wild here. It's whatever. Now this one we don't want to jack all the way up. We just want to turn the angle limit up so that it covers all the contours of the car. It's almost like stretching the vinyl. And this one we're going to move over that way. We'll go right there. Now we're going to add some layers here to make the splash effect on the left front quarter of the car. And we'll just duplicate that layer and we'll just move one of them down. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. And we'll just put it in there like that. Now, what I should have done first, and I forgot to, was add the Apex logo here. Now, with the Apex logo, I generally try and get it to tilt. But I don't know, I don't like how round it is, so I tend to spread it a little bit or squish it down and make it a little bigger that way, and we'll duplicate it on the other side like always. Um, what I'll do now is we have our two decals here on the side. I'm going to duplicate these layers, go to the bottom one, change the color to black, and then I'm going to give it a little bit of a nudge forward, which kind of creates a shadow look to it. Do the same thing here. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this black one and I'm going to drop it down, or drop them both down so that they get covered and you don't see them in the red at all. And now we got our little shadow. I'm actually gonna put one in right here just to cover up the black there, since I don't like seeing it.
Excuse me, there is a message for you.
And now we'll move on to the front of the car. And with the front of the vehicle, I don't want it to be a straight line like that. So what I'm going to do is um, I'll just add a layer in to give it a little bit of a shape. What are we on? Body. Alright, so that part's done. Now we'll go on to the hood, finish up the hood here. kind of all about getting the right placement on the decal, making it look right, making it look like it kind of flows. And sometimes if you gotta fill in a spot or two, you gotta fill in a spot or two. And again, we're gonna go back through and we're gonna duplicate everything here. And again, all the black ones we're gonna move down towards the bottom. Let's see if we can get one to match up on the top there just a little bit. I don't know if we're going to be able to. It looks pretty good. We'll roll with it. What did I see over here? There we go. So that's basically, in a nutshell, a basic livery laid out. Um, Now what I can do is start adding the sponsorship decals and whatnot onto there. So yeah, going through and adding all these extra decals, for sponsorships or other things that are generally on here can get kind of repetitive, but it is what it is. Once you figure out where they go, how they look, uh, it gets pretty simple to do. You learn all the little tricks. And like I said, since this is the base model livery for the team drivers, I'm just going to add some little stuff here and there. And that pretty much since this is the team car, we'll just throw the Apex Racing logo on the back. And a couple of sponsors here. See, I don't know why. With some cars it works, some cars it doesn't. Got me. So in order to fix that, we'll just turn the angle limit up. We'll turn the depth limit down. And we'll move it to where we need it. And we'll just duplicate it symmetrically so it's same on both sides there. And now what we're gonna do is add a little pizzazz. Hmm. You know what? I think we'll leave it like that. And with that being said, I think we are pretty much done for the Apex team livery. call it good. Save it. Apex Team GR3. AMG 16. Ah, shit. And there we go. All said and done. Now, like I said, if the team members want to grab the livery, they can change their colors. I got a tutorial on the channel about doing that as well. Change the colors and, have fun with it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.